I fucking hated that. Oh, okay, everybody. I do apologize for that. That was kind of ugly on my part. Irritating as well. Let's see. Irritating. Okay, so there we go. Boy, boy, boy. I did not like that one bit. I'll just wait for a bit and get back to it in just a second. Sorry, gotta go somewhere. Boop. Okay. Let's go ahead and resend this again. No. Let's send this again. Share. Hope that people will catch this. And sorry, everybody. Okay. Let's go ahead. I've retweeted that. Let's wait for a bit. Let's just wait for a bit. People is live streaming and I want to get back playing horror games, but we gotta come back. All right, hoping that people do come back. Okay, there we go. All right, I was just waiting for people to come back. Uh, yeah, I know. I thought I got everything fixed. Yes, I am back. Okay, so let's get back to listening to. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Let's get back listening to MBG. Weird name, but okay. All right, so let's get back to it.
It's easy to come up with an answer about releasing it on PC because it's all you have to do is port it.
What's up, Mr. Gamer? How you doing?
What about shows? It's attractive to be able to choose, and I'm very happy that the opportunities to choose are increasing more and more. Famitsu says, please let us know if there are any titles that you plan to develop in the near future. Oh, this is interesting. So Jim Ryan says the translation.
I know.
The shooting game Twisted Metal, which has been out for a while. What? Okay, this is really messed up. I'm just gonna read it word for word. The shooting game Twisted Metal, which has been out for a while at Ryan PlayStation, is going to be diversified from now on. In addition to that, we will release various movies in the future.
I know, Zombie Fan. I gotta order it first, and since I got a Micro Center near me, I could just go and get a motherboard. But gotta wait. I'm probably going to do a couple more tweaking, do some little bit more research, and it should fix.
But how will Twisted Metal in particular be reborn as entertainment other than games? I'm also looking forward to content. Okay, I have no idea what was said there. Moving right along here, Famitsu says that sounds exciting. Finally, I have questions about the gaming PC market. In recent years, the gaming PC market has grown in Japan as well.
Mm-hmm.
SIE's point of view, the number of PS5 rivals will increase, but please tell me your frank thoughts on the excitement of the gaming PC market.
Okay, so he's taking forever, but we're gonna stop right here and explain. So before my computer told me to go fuck yourself. I'm gonna say this. He said something about games, something about entertainment, and he's like, "Oh, you're talking about the movies instead of games." MBJ, guess what? The PlayStation is entertainment. It doesn't matter if it's a game; it's still entertainment. Movies, a book, gaming, all of that falls under what you call it, falls under entertainment. Oh, what's up, Satendo Q? Satendo guy. I'm sorry. And are you covering the Fertanga and PMs? Um, I'm not going to cover it over it because I haven't looked into it. So I'm going to sit down and sit back and look into it. One thing that I think a lot of people uh, who try to cover stuff don't have all that much information. So, like I said, I don't have enough information to make a conclusion. I wasn't on Twitter that much. I did reply to like Zombie Fan when he was going to bed, but I haven't looked on Twitter, so I don't have any idea on what's going on Twitter. So I am new about it. I didn't know there was drama between Fertanga and PMS Jordan because, of course, I didn't pay attention to it. So as far as okay, I won't go into it. And the thing is, I don't have enough evidence for that because I haven't looked onto Twitter that much. I just replied to some people, talked to. Okay, I got you. I got you. It's not worth it. So, fortunately, I'm not gonna go over it. So, just being 100% real, I don't have enough evidence. But tonight is about PlayStation fanboys. Um, so the thing that he's not going to understand is gaming is entertainment. Like me building a PC, that's entertainment. Me reading on this AMD 5950 XT box, me reading it, that's entertainment. Me going to Micro Center with my receipt, it's entertainment. I'm going to Micro Center, that's entertainment. Whatever you're doing that's fun is entertainment. You don't need gaming to survive. Like gaming is not there to 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 make you live. Is not a necessity. Like if gaming go away, it will suck, but you'll still be alive. It's an entertainment. Is not going to starve you. It's not edible. It's not usable. Is this a entertainment? Out of the three fanboys, which one worse? PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo? Hmm. I'm going to say Nintendo fanboys are more nostalgia. Like, they're the fanboy because they're living like what Nintendo did. They living off the history of what Nintendo is doing. I don't think I don't think they're like the worst fanboys. Xbox is I don't think they're the worst. I think it's PlayStation. I would say it's PlayStation. You rarely see PC fanboys of Sony that create the PlayStation. We'll call it Sony Entertainment. Exactly. That's what it is. So the thing, Sony Interactive Entertainment. So it's SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment. So yeah, they're entertainment. So I say the Sony fanboys are the worst out of the console fanboys because Xbox, when Redfall went out there was a little bit of fanboys out there calling out. Being on Microsoft's side saying, "Oh, this is a great game." There was a little bit, but when it comes down to Sony fanboys, they was more on the part when, like, let's take Forspoken. PC players already know it was bad. Everybody else knew it was already bad. You know who didn't say it was bad? The fanboys. So yeah, so if it comes down to nostalgia fanboys, I think Nintendo is the worst. When it comes down to the worst of all, I would say PlayStation is the worst fanboy. Now we do got some fanboys in the PC realm. Look at me, I'm a Razer fanboy. But hey, I'm a realist. I'm a realistic type of person. Let's continue with this sleeper. And what I mean by sleeper, putting you to sleep.
Jim Ryan says, I think it's a very good thing when considering the multifaceted development of game IP. PCs are indispensable for allowing more people to enjoy games in a variety of ways. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, Zombie. We gonna have to talk about this part right here that I'm about to pouring up.
It's better. Mitsu then says Sony Interactive Entertainment will continue to actively release PC versions in the future. Jim Ryan says we will be proactive. And then Famitsu says, while I'm happy to have more options, I would also like to see more PS5 exclusive titles from for enthusiastic fans. Then Jim Ryan says, and I think this is probably the most significant thing he said this entire interview, quote, we also fully understand the importance of PS5 exclusive titles as...
What? Zombie fan. Hey, everybody. He's one sub away from Zombie for hitting 400. We need him at 400. Go ahead and hit that 400. We need him at 420.
As I said earlier, PlayStation Studios' main responsibility is to have people enjoy the gaming experience using the latest PlayStation. We are increasing the number of PS5 exclusive titles and staggering the release of PC versions. I often have the opportunity to ask game fans...
hey, it's him going to put people to sleep. So, but this is a good part to stop. So here's the thing, okay? And a lot of people don't understand this because, you know, me, I've been talking to a lot of people around the world. Here in America, the PlayStation 5 is 400 for the discless version, and if I saw a toss link, I got you. What you call it? Give me a second. I got you. Click on this. Share a copy link and open chat, open web, and here we go. Paste. Okay, I hope that works for everybody. There goes Zombie Fan right there. $3.99. There you go. It depends on what time it is. But I kind of want to put this out real quick because I want to lose my mindset. So, MBG. Hey Zombie, he's sub. So here's the thing, MBG. Do you realize that here in America is $400 for the discless version and $500 for the disc version? So here in America, that sounds affordable. Okay, it's I'll probably watch it, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to stream it. It's affordable here because average person here in America make a little bit under $50,000 a year, and that's an average. So even what's up, NANA? So here your mindset is only for the Western audience. But let me ask you a question. What about people that live in Brazil? The PlayStation 5 costs like about $1,000 USD in Brazil. And then think about the Philippines. Even with that, that's about let's just say it's $500 in the Philippines. Do you know the average income for the Philippines is $300 to $500 a month? So even though we are privileged to live in America to have more income, everywhere else in the world is too expensive. Because you think about it, $500 everywhere else in the world, they're probably not making that much money to begin with. And MBG, they're not making that much money, so they can't go out and buy a PlayStation. They can't go out and buy an Xbox. But you know what they do have? PCs. Look at the PC that I have. Yeah, is over what you think it is because it's a lot of money. But there's people out there that do have PCs that could play these games at low settings at least 30 frames a second, and because their PC is not that great, even though their PC is on the low end, us PC gamers, we don't care if their PC is low and they're a PC gamer. So for them to play like let's say The Last of Us on a low end spec because they could go ahead and drop quality and everything. That's what they have to do, and that's what a lot of fanboys like yourself and everybody else don't understand. That around the world they cannot afford a PlayStation, they can't afford an Xbox, they probably can't even afford Nintendo. They had to think about their priorities and have a PC, a low end PC where they could get the minimum job done to what play Overwatch on low settings, Valorant on low settings, League of Legends on low settings, and not only that, games at $70 is probably too expensive for them. Yo, my boy Ezekiel, what's up? If you just want low end, just get a older console, aka PlayStation. Wow, really? Okay, okay, Ezekiel. Nah, but if they want to port their games over to PC, you're not going to stop them. But yeah, everywhere in the world they can't afford a PlayStation. They can't even afford an Xbox because guess what? There's like thousands of dollars, and their minimum income could be like $300 to $500. That's one thing a month. So you're not thinking about that. All right.
Their opinions, and when I ask them about the time lag, they say that selling the PC version 2 or 3 years after the release of the PlayStation version is accepted favorably.
Of course, you're going to think is accepted favorably because you want it on your console as long as possible. We get that. Okay. After what happened to The Last of Us Part One, why should I trust Sony with any of their ports to the PC? You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's better," and even on Steam, if I pull up Steam real quick, let me pull up Steam real quick. Steam, Steam. Here we go. Even if I pull up Steam right now, let's go to store. Ooh, hold up. I haven't played Magic in forever. I'm about to download that. I gotta find my account though. Dang, still kind of expensive. Uh, remember. So even with The Last of Us, it's all review is mixed, but it's mostly positive. The reason why it's mostly positive is because there have been updates, but we need to understand that I'm getting sick and tired of these patches and updates. You know, if you're not going to release a game as few bugs as possible, then what's even the point of putting my hard-earned money to your games? Even with that $70, yeah, screw that. Okay, that's what's up. You still got your NES and Xbox 360 and PlayStation 2. Fair enough. I got my Switch over there, and I got a 360. So yeah, let's continue with what he's trying to say because he's not getting it.
And so Famitsu says, so you regularly set up opportunities to hear the opinions of game fans. I would love to know who Jim Ryan is talking to, like which fans he's talking to. Who's he? He's is he watching us guys? Is he watching MBG?
He's not watching you.
And Jim Ryan says it's a community that we should cherish the most. We will continue to listen to the voices of game fans and develop various titles.
Okay, that's what's up. It's still functional.
So that's the end of the interview, and man.
Okay, before you go off, again, if we look at Steam real quick, because I could like go ahead and pull up Steam real quick. I shouldn't shut down, but I don't care. Steam. Let's go back to The Last of Us. Oh, it's up here. All right. So to even look at the minimum specs, a Ryzen 5 1500, Intel Core i7 4770, 16 gigabytes of RAM. You could use a RX 470 or a AMD Ryzen RX 6500 XT. Dude, let's let's go ahead and price that real quick. Uh, what are we looking for? Um, Give me a second. I'm looking real quick. There we go. So if we go off of what is right there, let's go to eBay. Actually, PC part. Yeah, eBay. Oops. Let's go to eBay real quick. Allowed eBay. Okay. All right. So eBay right here. Let's go ahead and do this. So if we're looking at the minimal specs, let's go ahead and get a system with an Intel Core i7. So Intel i7 4700 70K desktop. Just doing some quick. Ooh. So even the used one, if we look at the specs, there you go. There you go. Even with a used one, this is an i7 477K, 16 gigabytes of RAM, Gen 3, 2400. You still got a 1000 watt, 80 plus brown power supply with modular cable, a 1070 where it could actually run a 1 terabyte SSD. Like, this might be expensive to some people, but $400 to run The Last of Us Part 1. So even with some of the chips right here you go, 338, 239 right here. I buy power. Even though it's a pre-build, I buy power. i7 4770K, 16 gigabytes of RAM. Um, it's a nice gen. So you could find yourself a PC that could run The Last of Us. And for want to look up a old chip? My computer used a LGA. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. That's pretty. That's pretty old. But hey, let's not forget all if Nintendo didn't say video games during the mid 1980s video, the PlayStation. Exactly. Exactly. I hate to seal for myself, but you know what? I hope my thing worked, but we're going to put this on my speaker so we could do this real quick because I'm actually happy for you. Let's do this. Turn it up just a tad bit, and here we go. Congratulations, Zombie Fan. You're at 400 subs. I'm happy for you, man. I'm very happy. Glad to have you as a friend as well. But hey, let's not. So, yeah. So even with a buy power for less than $300, you have yourself a budget game that could play The Last of Us and most of these games that you see on PC. So the whole point is, even with the scalpers that bought all the PlayStation and everything during the virus, they was selling consoles, but they wasn't selling subs. And just to get you mad, guess what I could do? So guess what I could do? What I could do is I could join PlayStation Plus and play all these games on PC. I don't even need a PlayStation. Do you know if you have a original Legend of Zelda sealed and unopened worse? You know dang well I don't have that. If I had that, I would have sold it. But yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, Scalper sucks, but yeah, they trying to sell the PlayStation at a low price because they're going to make their money by subscriptions. Everybody bought the PlayStation. The scalper bought the PlayStation, but guess what? They're not selling subscriptions, so PC is the best. But you need a PC. I have a PC, dude. Zeke, you already know I have a PC, but unfortunately, with PlayStation Plus, I need a PlayStation controller. I can't use mouse and keyboard, which sucks.
I gotta say, like, I'm not very happy. I'm not very happy about the fact that we finally get a new Jim Ryan interview and it's done in Japanese because you can tell, like,
Give me 1 second. Uh, Might as well. Boom. There you go. Uh, all right. Ezekiel, you're moderator. Okay, congratulations. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where is he's talking about the what you call it. We're going to skip from this dude because I can't find it, but he does get salty for the what you call it. We're going to go on to we're going on to this dude right here. That's what you get when your PC doesn't get reset. Now set the queue, do a one chip. One chip challenge. Oh snaps! I didn't see that was what you call it. So yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to find his close. Why did that thing just exit out? Give me a second. Uh, he got mad about it, but I might as well just go to. We're gonna go to the Frick. I know Frick got on his thing, so I'm gonna look at it real quick. Okay, if I can find it, because I know if I can find it. Give me a second. Notifications. Okay. Um, skip for now. Notification, because I've been trying to look for it, and it's kind of. No, I'm not going to do an edible challenge. That's kind of hard. I never did edibles before. I'm scared. Jeez, can't believe I wanted to find it. He's talking about Spider-Man having co-op. I know that. Give me a second. I'm trying to look for it. Where is? I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. Give me a second. Hey, hey, Cinder Q, looking good. I hope you're. I like your set. Oh, thank you, Plaho. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've been looking for this part. Why do you have Kai in your background and not Sindo? Dude, he's right here. Sindo, freaking. Hold up. Sindo on top. Yeah, he's in the background. It's not there. So, how you doing, Johnny? I mean, I'm happy that you're here, the Plow. And I'm not drinking at the better. I mean, at the moment. You know when you get set up and everything, and you can't find it, so you're like trying to find it. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it. Give me a second. I'm probably gonna have to like search for it somewhere else. So give me a second because it sucks because I cannot believe I missed it. Yeah, I do. I got my Jack Daniels right here. But I'm not drinking it at the moment because I don't feel like drinking. Okay. So this is what I found. Okay, awesome. Thank you for visiting my channel, man. I really appreciate that. So I've actually found the clip. All right, so this is Reach for Gaming. If you don't know who he is, he's what you call it? He's a he don't like he don't like other games getting to what you call it.
Every time we look at sales of AAA games, PC sales are paltry compared to consoles. Yeah, I wonder why.
Let me find that again. Give me a second. Oh boy, this is a mess up thing right here. I think that was this edit part right there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I found it. Okay, getting back to it. Sorry about that.
Zelda's the front runner, but Final Fantasy 16 for the win. Has Fallout game ever been nominated or won Game of the Year? I don't think so. No.
Okay, Fallout. Have it won Game of the Year. Have it won Game of the Year. I already know the answer, but it's going to be funny. So yeah, so okay, Fallout won Game of the Year. Yes, I have. You have. You have. Don't be. Look, Ezekiel. I know you play on PlayStation. This is not about you because you're not a PlayStation fanboy. A PlayStation fanboy is like Dreamcast guy, JTech, Reforce Gaming, MBJ. That's who the fanboys is because they only want games to be released on their platform and nowhere else. You don't care. You play on PC, you play on PlayStation, you play on multiple devices. You even got a Nintendo Switch. You play on other devices. Yeah, you don't prefer Xbox, and that's totally fine. It's the fact of the fanboys who's trying to cape for this system, and they're getting like Returnal. Returnal is a big flop. Yeah, that's fine. Returnal is a big flop that came out on PlayStation, and even the PlayStation fanboys are caping for the game. So that's the reason why they're fanboys, because they cannot understand how to take a L. Like, there's people on PlayStation saying, "Oh, Returnal is not is a failure," and it is. You're not a fanboy, but when it comes down to trying to cape for these companies, fanboy. Like me, I'm a fanboy of Razer, but I could call them out at the same time. Uh, and the other fucker down the street. So yes, Fallout did win Game of the Year. He have a computer in front of him, and you don't realize that. That's enough for reach for a game. Let's just watch Dreamcast guy.
The PlayStation
Fucking shit. Winning on what? Dude, you're not a fanboy. uh Raspberry Pi art guy. So this is Dreamcast guy. Ezekiel. He is a fanboy of PlayStation, but we're gonna watch this because I think this be the last video.
has been in a very interesting place over the course of the last few years because the PS5 is simply exploding in popularity. Pretty much every single region of Europe and America.
I don't know about that. Oh, thanks. Everything's good. I put my setup in my room, so it's actually, it's actually. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Oops. I should have put PlayStation 5. Oops. PlayStation 5. So at the moment, the PlayStation 5 only sold 38.4 million consoles. I think they might be behind how much PlayStation 4 sold. PlayStation 4 was successful. Don't get me wrong. I will admit that. PlayStation 6 was successful. I give them that. PlayStation 3, it was lagging behind, but they caught back up. But Nintendo kind of killed it. If you like Nintendo or not, they still killed it. But honestly, how much 38.4 million consoles that have been sold, and still they struggling with subscription because of the scalpers, and they still can't give out their stocks. Honestly, I don't think it's that successful because they still got unsold stocks. But that's just me just thinking outside the box. But I want to admit, PlayStation 4 was successful and it was big. Now the PlayStation 5, I feel like it's kind of lacking behind.
America and freaking places like Brazil, the Middle East, everybody is trying
Wait,
to
what was that?
exploding in popularity. Pretty much every single region of Europe and America and freaking places like Brazil, the Middle East, everybody is trying to buy a PlayStation.
Brazil PlayStation is like $1,000 US, like over $1,000 US. Let me see. Da, da, da. Brazil. Yeah, Yeah, if you talking about what you call it, if you convert 4,890 uh thousand Brazil money, it's about $977,000. I mean $100. So it's about $978. That's kind of expensive.
which is reflected in its record breaking sales. But what's peculiar is that PlayStation has really kind of lost a lot of its hype, its glamour, its profitability in Japan. The birth.
Yeah, it lost a lot because what you call it? They concentrating on the U.S. market. They're censoring their games. They're okay. So let's look back. Let's look back at his controller, real quick. Let's look back at his controller. Okay. Okay, so let's look at his controller, and this is actually pretty funny. So let's look at his controller. Ooh, and I forgot to do that. Let's look at his controller. So here's another thing that a lot of people don't know about Japan. Well, I don't think a lot of Sony fanboys understand. So when you have the PlayStation controller, oh my gosh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So a lot of people don't understand. Here in America, when we have the PlayStation controller, X is confirmed. Well, it's not X. We call it X over here. But over in Japan, it's a cross. It's not X, it's a cross. Now, in Japan, the cross is bad, while the circle is good. So in Japan, the circle is confirmed and the and the cross is canceled. So when you confirm stuff, you're not supposed to hit the X button. You're supposed to hit the circle. And then if you want to cancel it, you gotta hit the X or the cross button. In Japan, they reverse that, where the cross is confirmed and the circle is back. So a lot of people in Japan is pretty much pissed off about that, because over here in Japan, over here in America, we did XX confirm and circle as no, as cancel, but in Japan it's the other way around. So they purposely programmed the PlayStation 5 for Americans and the Western audience. So when the people in Japan got their PlayStation 5, they was hitting circle for confirm and they was going back. If you want to know more about that, take an Xbox controller I can show you actually. So with the Xbox controller, the confirm is on the bottom where the back is B. With in Japan, the A is over here where confirm, and the B is on the bottom. So you can see how confusing if you switch from different consoles and everything from Xbox to Nintendo. And over in Japan, where the A is at on the Nintendo console, is actually circle over in Japan. So actually, yes, the PlayStation 5 is more Western than Japan. So they thought about the Western culture than Japan, and they don't like censorship. So yeah.
The birthplace of the PlayStation. And now, Jim Ryan, the CEO, the head of PlayStation itself, did an extended interview in the Japanese gaming magazine Famitsu. Now, Famitsu is a very, very big deal. This is one of the biggest gaming magazines on the planet, and he sat down to discuss the changes, the outlook, the points of view of PlayStation, Japan, and sort of interesting tidbits like Spider-Man and PC ports. And I want to go over it, so let's take a look.
Oh no, he about to say, "What's up, Dreamcast? What's up, gamers? Dreamcast guy here." All I heard is that the PlayStation is inactive. It's not just well, from Dreamcast guy, he ramble a lot and he just keep on going. But yeah. So what it is PlayStation, Sony, they're not thinking about the Japanese market because they've been censoring games. It's funny because they got a game where Nintendo actually is more of a more of a better version of one of their games. It's a game where there was two girls, and on the Nintendo it was two girls, and they was just like doing platform jumping. But on the PlayStation, they switched the two girls to two bunny rabbits. so yeah, they're actually heavy censoring. So they censoring their Japanese games, but they want to go ahead and put The Last of Us Part 2 with Abby butt naked and getting plowed from behind. So yeah, they're actually censoring Japanese gamers and the Japanese market, and that kind of sucks because I remember when PlayStation came out, they was more lenient of doing such censorship. And another thing I forgot, when the PlayStation 5 came out, they had an update where if you say a bad word, your account was banned because they're censoring your words. And yeah, that sucks. I mean, I don't want PlayStation to go because that's competition for other companies. But honestly, if they keep on censoring stuff, I think they might lose a whole bunch of their audience. It doesn't help that it looked like a router. I hope their new PlayStation is more smaller than what it is now. But hey, it's whatever.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast guy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you can like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, I'll be...
Yeah, I know, Chili. Cheeto. I'm sorry, I call you Chili. Cheeto.
Honest, I was out till like 3 a.m. partying with my bros, watching my favorite band K-Flay, so if I sound a bit tired, it's because this delicious monster hasn't kicked in yet. But here we go. So even the beginning of this interview really starts off with
Ezekiel. This is... Yeah, the Xbox need to get smaller. I agree, it need to get smaller. But you got a fridge and a Wi-Fi router. Yeah, they both look weird and stupid. It need to get smaller. I'm not going to go ahead and sit there and say, honestly, to me, I feel like it need to get smaller, but add more fans to it so it could be a lot chillier.
With a bit of a bombshell. The Japanese market has been and will continue to be the most important of markets. The reason, of course, is that Japan boasts the second largest market in the world, but more important than the simple statistics, Japan is the birthplace of PlayStation. Now, this statement is getting circled around a lot because, let's face it, it's a bit of an odd thing to say. If you're selling consoles, if you're already big and popular, you don't have to talk about how popular you are. This definitely sounds like a little bit of cope.
Ezekiel, are you still mad that Nintendo stopped with the Wii U? Isn't that like your best isn't that like your favorite console of all time? Like from Nintendo? Because I liked the Wii U. It's just mine got stolen and I'm mad about that. The Wii U was... This is one thing a lot of people don't understand about me is when I get a console, I like innovation. That's why I got the Switch. That's why I went and got a Wii U. The Wii, I did get the Wii. I like innovation. I like what a console does that the other console can't do. Like with my Switch, I could play my Switch on my TV, but if I'm going somewhere, I can just go like this. Take my Switch out. Okay, zombie fan, you have a good night, man. Take my Switch out, put the Joy-Cons on, and I could play it on the go. It's a home console that you could take on the go. And I like to play it on the TV mostly, but yeah, I got my Splatoon in here and everything. So yeah, I like the Switch a lot. I own the Switch. I own two Switches, but I play a lot of Splatoon. Speaking of Ezekiel, we need to play some Splatoon if you ever get a chance. And I'm a big Splatoon fan, so yeah, I like to play Splatoon. But yeah, yeah, I feel like the PlayStation 5 failed to cater to the Japanese market. That's why more games come to the Switch and to PC, because the Japanese market is actually more handheld than consoles at the moment, because they're always on the go. They want to play on the go. So honestly, PlayStation need to get to the Sony need to get to trying to make another portable console, or make a app. Well, they got the app where you can play your games, but it's streaming. So any way to like try to get the games hardware to a portable console, that'd be a lot better for them. The games are $70. Ooh, sorry, I didn't even go to it. Sorry, let's go ahead and go back a little bit.
You don't have to talk about how popular you are. This definitely sounds like a little bit of Cope PR speak, because even in the replies, people point out he's been saying this, he keeps claiming that the PlayStation brand is strong in Japan, and yet the market share continues to drop. They did ask about those low software sales as well. It's an interesting interview. Now,
Games are $70. Of course, it's dropping in sales because nobody wants to spend $70 on a game. Sony was the first group of people. It was the first company that actually made games a standard $70, and now Microsoft followed suit, which I disagree. And now you got Nintendo with Tears of the Kingdom, which is $70, and for that game, I refuse to spend $70 on a game that's going to run at below 30 frames a second. I'd rather just play on PC. If if they ever release games on PC from Nintendo, even though you could get it another way on the PC. But the thing about it is, these $70 games are honestly irritating. Look at Redfall. $70 for a 30 frames a second buggy mess. Not Returnal, but Forspoken, $70, and that was running below 30 frames a second and at below 720p. You have a console with PC parts inside of it, RDNA 2, AMD, and you're telling me that you can't get your modern game to run higher than 60 frames a second? I'm going to be honest with you. What's the point of even paying $70 for a game if I'm going to get a buggy mess? What's the point? I'm playing mostly free games on PC. I'm playing mostly games that I paid $40 for. There's no reason for me to spend $70 on a game. Even if I went to Steam, right? Steam. Even on Steam, okay? Bring it over here. Even on Steam, like, you go to The Last of Us, it's $60. Wow. And then you got the deluxe edition for 70, which why would I pay for the deluxe edition? You know, where on different websites like CD Keys, I could get that game for $40. There's no reason why I need to spend $70 on a fucking game. There's no reason. The savings on PC is there. And then for people, I feel sorry for the people who play on PlayStation and can't even get a deal because you got to pay for online services just to use their online stuff, and then freaking and fucking what you call it, pay $70 for a game that they may or may not like. You know, at least with what Spider-Man, I paid $40. It was underwhelming in my opinion. You could like it or hate it. I'm more of a Shattered Dimension fan, but hey, that's the reason why. And then also mobile people playing on the Switch, people playing on their phones. So the market of that dropping because there's other options.
Now, I want to take a look at the entire interview here. I have a nice Google Translate of it. Now, part of the interestingness of this to me is that Jim Ryan has been incredibly silent over the course of the last year or so, and it seems like part of that comes down to the fact that he's just been so busy releasing all these big exclusive games, making sure stuff stays on schedule, and additionally, it does seem like Jim Ryan is downright terrified of the Activision Blizzard Microsoft agreement.
You know what? I'm getting sick and tired of people saying this Activision Blizzard thing. Because here's the thing this is the reason why I think Jim Ryan is afraid of it, but also don't really care. Number one, yeah, mobile games have exploded over the past few years. Yeah, this is mobile games over there. People going to, like, check this out. This is my gaming cell phone. This is my gaming cell phone. Okay? This is my cell phone. Guess what I could do with it? Let me see something. I don't want you to look at my home screen real quick. Wallpaper. There we go. And we're going to set wallpaper, and we're going to home lock screen. Okay. So here goes my gaming phone. Ooh, and I need to turn down the brightness. This is my gaming phone right here. You see it? This is a gaming phone. It got triggers on the side. As you can see, those black things got triggers on the side, and it got a fan on the back. As you can see, that little grill is on the back. Guess what I could do? You see this? Flip the switch right here, like Apple have. Oops. Now it becomes a portable gaming device. And then if I want controllers, here we go. Now if I want a controller, I got this and I got this. All I gotta do, go like this. Guess what? I could play my games. Just like that. Mobile games is getting very easy over there. You have a streaming service, Sony. You could put your games on a streaming service, but you don't want to do that because it costs money. And you don't have Microsoft money anymore. But the thing I'm trying to say is, follow my face, thank you. So the thing is, number one, all y'all care about is Call of Duty. While you have Nintendo, give me a second. Where you got Nintendo, and I'm just gonna do this. Where you got Nintendo, who got a freaking console, which is a handheld hybrid console. All I gotta do is go right here, turn this on. Guess what game coming up? And I give you a hint. It's my Joy-Cons. It's called Splatoon. Yeah, I know it's running at 30 frames. You're not going. The lines doesn't matter. So you telling me that you can't sit there and develop and take 2 to 3 years to develop a first person shooter and play and make a what you call it and make a prime a shooter. They don't want to do that because they want to spend money on Activision Blizzard and say we want Call of Duty, but we want to get exclusive stuff. Why you can't sit there and make your own game? And number two, do you realize Activision Blizzard make Overwatch, make World of Warcraft, got so many IPs, but all y'all care about is Call of Duty. Y'all don't care about Blizzard and Activision. Y'all just care about the Call of Duty. That's why y'all try to stop it. Because I didn't hear you didn't say nothing about Overwatch. I didn't hear nothing about World of Warcraft. I didn't hear nothing about all their other IPs. All y'all care about is Call of Duty. Because Call of Duty will just sell on Xbox. And if y'all want to have Spider-Man and all that stuff and go over there and get the IPs, why don't you just have the what you call it? Other people just buy an Xbox. Because y'all just want Call of Duty on your platform. Y'all don't care about nothing else. Yeah, Activision make a lot of shit. But the only thing that was on the table, I didn't hear nothing else but Call of Duty. They don't want to put on their subscription because their subscription sucks. You only streaming it on PC, where on PC with Game Pass, I could download it and play it with no lag whatsoever. Sony gotta fix their streaming service. But hey, I can't tell a business what to do. Oh, steps. My bad.
I mean, he is clearly, people have been calling him Crying Jim Ryan and Lying Jim Ryan because he seems to be legit scared about the idea of PlayStation losing access to Call of Duty at some point, even in the far future.
It's called adaptation. If you lose something, you make something. You adapt to the situation. What was the last freaking what you call it? Call of Duty on Nintendo? Okay, the ill-fated Wii U was the last time we saw a franchise hit any Nintendo console. It was poorly sell. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Ghosts. Okay. What was the last Call of Duty on Nintendo? Yeah, so let's see, Call of Duty Ghosts. Yeah, they need a new game with Crash. I agree. Let's see what year. What year? It was 2000. Okay, so as a result, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 in 2011 was the last Call of Duty ever released for a Nintendo handheld. Okay, so it was 2011. It was the last year, right? When was the first Splatoon? What year? What year did Splatoon came out? May 26th, 2015. So we look at 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. 4 years. 4 years. 4 years that from a difference from Call of Duty and Splatoon was out. You're telling me that the last Call of Duty game, Nintendo sat there in their big corporate office sat there and thinking like, oh, okay, we need to come out with a new IP, and since we don't have any Call of Duty games coming out, we need a shooter. Okay, let's do Splatoon. Let's make Splatoon. 4 years. And if I'm not mistaken, develop. When did Splatoon, what year did Splatoon came out? 2013. Splatoon was first created by Nintendo Entertainment and entertainment analysts and developed in late 2013. So less than 2 years. Less than 2 years. Splatoon was developed and created. Less than 2 years on the Switch. On the Wii U. So how come Sony can't do that? Take 2 years to come up with a brand new IP and then release the IP with a new shooter. Only for PlayStation. Because they don't want to do the work. It take a lot more manpower to create the game. Where Splatoon is actually a fun game. Because I am a big Splatoon fan.
Now, I want to actually take a look at this interview in reverse order. I already read the whole thing, and down here at the bottom, he starts to talk about the questions I think people are the most curious about, like stuff like PC ports. Right now, obviously, Microsoft has really been pushing the idea of day and date, and Sony has been...
And honestly, I want to say this, okay? Day and date. That's telling me that Microsoft... that's telling me that Microsoft are better developers than Sony's development team. The reason why I say that, okay, I'm not talking about the quality of the game or anything like that, because we're going to sit there and say, okay, Redfall was a utter trash, and yes, it was. Sony is stretching too far. They making home theaters, car audio, and movies. Yeah, they're doing all that, but they're a big company. They've been doing it since the 2000, and if they could make PlayStation in the mid 2000 and still do what they did and still been successful in the 90s, then what's stopping them now? So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. Just because if that's the case, Microsoft got Windows. They got a lot of a lot of projects under them too. So there's no excuse. Sony is if they're stretching, that's not my fault. They're a company. I don't care. But the thing about it is, I'm going to say this, and I know we're going to get controversy, but I think Microsoft got better developers than Sony. Yes, we know Redfall was a disaster, and there's no excuse to that. But for developers to release games day and date, putting their games on the PlayStation, and to put their games on Xbox and PC, and even the Xbox Series S, then what's going on with Sony? They're only making games for the PlayStation. You bought Nexus. You could go ahead and do day and date. What's going on? Why are y'all not releasing day and date? You're telling me that Microsoft are better developers because they could release a AAA title alongside with PC, and it's honestly the same experience? That doesn't make sense to me. So to me, Sony don't have great development studios if that's the case. Well, that's lost a lot of good developers when they exclude crap with game creator. Yeah, when they try to exclusively crap with. Yeah, you're right. I'll give that one. But I'm just saying, if Xbox could put games day and date with Sony, with Xbox and release on PC, sounds to me that Sony are lazy developers. I'm just saying.
creeping up on that idea a bit. You know, they're now releasing a lot of their games from Horizon Zero Dawn, or even things obviously like God of War, Spider-Man. Now The Last of Us had its incredibly broken PC port, but everything that comes.
I give Dreamcast guy his credit right here. He did call out The Last of Us on PC. He did call him out. I give him that because it was a horrific game on PC. And honestly, they don't have developers. Right. But Dreamcast guy, I give you a lot of credit for that. You called out The Last of Us on PC. This is your favorite game, which I don't know why you gave them money over and over again. It's just that's telling me that they don't need to make new games. You know, because if people want to keep on buying the same game, what's the point of making a new game? But honestly, Sony need to be called out. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's the one that port the game over and everything." No, it starts from Sony and then ends to Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog should have said no. Sony should never paid for it because guess what? That Iron Gate or whoever it was should never have been their first thing. But hey, blame Sony for that.
To PlayStation comes to PC eventually. And essentially he says two things here that are very, very delicious. He says they are being proactive about the release of PlayStation games on PC in the future. It sounds like now, instead of making a game entirely for the PS5 and then beginning development on PC, it sounds like they're being more forward focused, saying, okay, we're working on this, but we also want to already keep in mind that eventually this has to be a PC game.
You have an APU that have a 5700 XT inside of it with a RX 3700X. I think if they could make a game for the PlayStation, they could definitely make the game for PC. They're computers. You know, they don't have they have custom chips, but it's still you could run Linux off of a PlayStation 5. So there's no excuse.
And he also says this here, which is interesting. He basically says, we realize the importance of PlayStation 5 titles. He says this in a little bit of weird Google Translate speak, but he's essentially saying, we have...
What do you mean Google Translating speak? You just speak into the phone, into Google, or just pull it up and you don't need to, edit it. There's no weird Google Translate speech.
A ton of PlayStation 5 exclusives coming up. We think they're going to be great. People are going to love them. But we're going to keep releasing games as much as possible on PC, but we think it's good to have a 2 to 3 year gap. Now,
I think that's bad. Reason why I say that's bad is because you have a how can I say? You have a small opening where the game got as much hype as possible. So let's say God of War Ragnarok. Okay, God of War Ragnarok. If that game released let's say a month after PC, it probably would have got more. It would probably would have got more of a hype behind it. But the hype is down. So let's say they release God of War 3 years from now. God of War Ragnarok 3 years from now. For people that don't have a PlayStation 5 and have PC and they release it on PC, why would you want to play God of War Ragnarok? I mean, what's the point? You know? There's probably going to be some PC players out there that are going to play it, but what's the point? The hype is gone. There's no reason to play it. I'm not watching Guardian of the Galaxy. The hype is gone. I was excited about it, but after a while, I'm like, I don't want to go to a movie theater to watch it. So there's a little gap where the hype is more suitable and it would have got more sales. I don't think a lot of people bought Returnal. I bought Returnal, but I didn't buy it for the full $60. I bought it for $40 on CD keys. Actually, I got it downloaded.
Now, This is definitely smart. If you actually look at the raw sales numbers that have even been publicly released for their exclusives thus far, I think Jim Ryan realizes that, okay, it's good to release a game on the PS5, let it get hyped, let it get awards, let it get the conversation cycle like freaking God of War Ragnarok.
Dude, dude, let me tell you this, Dreamcast guy. I bought Hi-Fi Rush the same exact day it was Shadow Drop. That's where the hype was. I bought Hi-Fi Rush when it was Shadow Drop because the hype was there. I bought Metroid Prime on my Switch when I found out it was Shadow Drop for $40. The hype is gone. Okay? There's a difference between when the hype was there and let it marinate. Hi-Fi Rush, I bought it. I didn't go to Game Pass for it. I went and bought it off of Steam. I didn't even think about going to CD Keys for that. I did with Returnal, but I didn't think about going to CD Keys for Hi-Fi Rush. I went and bought it off of Steam. I spent the $30 to get it off of Steam. I bought Metroid Prime as soon as it was Shadow Drop on my Nintendo Switch. I still got it. I want to live stream it because it's my number one favorite game of all time. Why should I buy God of War? Why should I buy Horizon? The hype is gone. It doesn't matter about the game of the year or whatever. The hype is gone. There gotta be the hype that consistent go on. Like with Elden Ring. I bought Elden Ring because even though it was hype and I wasn't thinking about it, Quantum TV made it even more hype. So there's no reason that I needed to buy it. I mean, that's no reason why I bought it because he made it even more hype. The hype is gone. Okay, like with Spider-Man, I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, but honestly, telling you the truth, that Spider-Man game was mediocre in my opinion. To me, Returnal is better than Spider-Man. But I didn't want to buy Miles Morales. I didn't buy Miles Morales because it's the same gameplay as Spider-Man. It's just you get electric powers. There's no point of me to play Spider-Man because I think it's mediocre. Sony needs to change their games up. That's why I love Returnal. Returnal to me is the best Sony PlayStation game I have ever played. Why should you buy a game because I command you to do so peasant? Exactly. There's no. I'm not gonna have people tell me what to do. If the hype is there, like with Hi-Fi Rush, I'm gonna buy it. That's why I bought. That's why I bought the. What's that Rick and Morty game? That came out. High on Life. Because guess what? It came out on PC. The hype was there. I bought it. Yes, Spider-Man was meh. Play sort of like Batman Arkham. Yeah, there's no point. Like to me, the best Spider-Man game is always going to be Shattered Dimension because the gameplay of each Spider-Man was so different. It didn't change the fact it was Spider-Man. They just had different and honestly visible game mechanics, and it was awesome. But High on Life, I bought like a week after. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, so High on Life was hype. and it still was hype, and I bought it. The hype is gone. Don't get me wrong. I'm still want to beat it because I didn't have a chance to play because computer issues. Yeah, don't worry, I'm back. Um, High on Life was hype, but it was on PC and Xbox, so we went and got it. Uh, High on Life was hype and it was on both platforms, so I went and got it. Metro was hype. I went and bought it. Um, those games was hype during the time, but now what's the point of buying God of War? I could just watch it on YouTube and be done with it. You could do that with High on Life and Hi-Fi Rush, but with God of War and all the story-based games, easier to watch on YouTube.
Everybody's celebrating it for months and months and months, and then
And then 2 and 3 years later is ridiculous. It's gone.
2 years later, you drop it on PC. You get the PC gamers to buy it again for, let's face it, a full $70. They start modding it. It builds up social media again.
We're not paying $70. We're not paying $70. We're not. No, we're not. Why do you think Hi-Fi Rush was so popular on PC? Because it was $30. $30 to play a game. Even with like Halo, I'd rather just get it off of CD keys. You must be out of your mind if we're going to spend $70 on a PC game, or even 30. I mean, not 30, but or even 50 or $60. I could say 40, but we're not spending that much money on no PC port. On no PC game. Screw that. We spend money on performance, not on games. Yeah, I like God of War, but then I like Assassin's Creed and Darksider too. Never played Minecraft. Yeah, I never played Minecraft either. I got done with Assassin's Creed, but I need to play Darksiders. That's a fun series. Yeah, I want to tell you this right now, and you'll understand this. Okay, I want to say this. Console gamers care about games. We care about games too, but they care about the quality of games. They don't mind paying $70 for a game and then pay $15 for subscription. But with PC gamers, we'll spend money on the hardware, but the software we don't need to spend that much. We have options in different stores. Oh boy. We're not spending $70 on a fucking game. I can tell you that right now. $70, fuck that.
And you have a second wave of profitability of a game you've already fully finished. That's kind of interesting that it seems like they're never going to go day and date, or maybe they will with something like their games as a service projects that they're kicking around, but interesting.
And that's the reason why I say Microsoft got better got better developers, because they're going day and date and it's being successful. And matter of fact, I could download the games off of Microsoft Store without even touching Windows if I don't. I mean, without touching Steam if I don't want to. Matter of fact, I could go ahead and use Game Pass. But there's no point of you streaming the games off of PlayStation Plus because I'm streaming instead of downloading. It's that simple. Sony needs to step up because guess what? This is the future, and Sony not following.
To hear it a lot. Now, here's one of the other things people are talking about, which is that even the biggest, most popular games, like Ghost of Tsushima, is
Debatable. Debatable. I don't know. Debatable. Games are subjective.
a mega juggernaut in the rest of the world. I mean, people were literally blown away. I still think that Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games on the PlayStation. I platinumed it on PS4 and PS5.
I know I got to hold tears to Returnal. To me, Returnal is actually the best game on the PlayStation platform. Honestly, I'm being dead serious.
Ghost of Tsushima deserves the hype. I listen to the soundtrack constantly. But he says here, how do you think the Japanese market is?
I don't know. The soundtrack, again, debatable. It could be subjective, but you got classic like Bloody Tears and just so many classics. Like even Valhalla soundtrack is bumping. I gotta listen to some Valhalla.
Changing. I think the Japanese fans have changed a lot compared to the past. In the past, titles from Japanese manufacturers were popular, but recently they're enjoying titles from overseas with an open mind. For example, Ghost of Tsushima has sold over 1 million copies in Japan. I think that proves just how popular the titles of foreign manufacturers are.
1 million? 1 million? That's it. 1 million? How many? Like 36? Like okay, Ghost of Tsushima came out on the PlayStation 4. There's like, and you're saying to sell 1 million units in Japan out of how many consoles? Like over 100 million. That's kind of embarrassing.
So, way in the past, in Japan specifically, people were really, really dead set on their own patriotism. You know, like, hey, we want Final Fantasy, we want Monster Hunter, we want games like Dragon Quest, we want our games on our consoles. Rah rah, Japan.
Um, gonna keep it real. If you want to make money, place on other consoles. Gonna keep it real. That's kind of bad because a lot of people don't own PlayStation. You know, just because it's so big in Japan, like the PlayStation 4, doesn't mean like a whole bunch of people. If you want to reach bigger audience, put it on other platforms like PC, Nintendo, Xbox. Because I know Final Fantasy started on Nintendo. People keep on forgetting about that because of Final Fantasy 7.
But what's interesting is that it is cool that as Western RPGs and Western development sort of takes over the industry, they're being open-minded to it. But still, Jim Ryan is phrasing this as a positive, but 1 million copies sold still seems incredibly low to me. But going back to...
Yeah, it's low. Like 1 million copies out of like over 100 million. That's low. That's like 1% of the people in the world. Like 1% of people that own PlayStation. That's literally like 1%. Probably less than 1%. That's how math works. Yeah, because I think the PlayStation sold like 120 million consoles, and it's only sold 1 million copies of Ghost of Tsushima. So that means less than 1% of gamers on PlayStation 5 don't really care about Ghost of Tsushima. That care about Ghost of Tsushima. That I'm not going to say doesn't care, because only less than 1% of people that care about Ghost of Tsushima. You know, like I said, the PlayStation is a casual console. You know, like I said, they still gonna have some of those people that play competitive like sports games, but it's a casual market on that. It's like PC is more competitive. You know, you got casuals on PlayStation, like fighting games. People want to play on consoles, but when somebody bring in a small form factor PC, trust me, you could play any controller you want. You're not limited to whatever. You know, you want to play like Blaze Blue, get yourself a small form factor PC, build it, what, $600, $700, just build it real quick, and it's have straight up games on it. You know, you don't have to get an M.2 SSD. Just get yourself like a regular SSD like this right here. This is a Crucial SSD, and just place it in there. And if you want to add more games, just add more storage. Is honestly, I think a lot of people are going to start doing that because small form factor PCs is actually the way to go.
To it here, he says this: the game has a lot of fans in Japan, so I think there are many users who will be happy with it. I just answered about the importance of the Japanese market, and based on these examples, I think the Japanese market is important. So obviously this is Google Translate, it's a little bit funky, but it says it's an interesting and attractive market. I think one of the characteristics of Japan is the history of game culture and the assets that have been passed down from the past.
And now you can see why the people over in Japan is mad at PlayStation, because guess what? It's starting to be more westernized. They changed the buttons for confirm and cancel on the PlayStation. They censoring their games. They censor it so much that they made Nintendo, this handheld right here, more mature. That's embarrassing. Because throughout the 90s, Nintendo was known as a kid console. So yeah, and not only that, that's a hybrid of a home console and a hybrid because guess what? You got a you got a Japanese person that could play this on the TV, and if they want to take this on the go, all they got to do is take it out of the dock and go, and they got themselves their portable. Their portable console. The mobile market is ridiculous, and even with a cell phone, a cell phone, and even with a cell phone and a joystick right here, even with a cell phone and a joystick right here, what I could do is I could actually pull up, if I can find it, Steam Link, and now I got a portable Steam console that I could just connect and start playing on the go with great Wi-Fi or great service on my cell phone, and now I'm on the go playing my games from my hardware. So that's crazy. And it depends on the person who made the app, aka Steam. Don't get me wrong. It's as far as depend on your connection, you're gonna have a solid connection or not. I think AMD is a little bit better, and I play off of AMD links. But either here or there is an option. Gaming is starting to become portable, and Sony and Microsoft needs to start knowing that. So Microsoft already do notice that, and they got Xbox Game Pass on there. Time for Sony to step it up.
It is precisely because of this that we're able to create a more wonderful batch of titles. Okay, so PO speak again of him basically
I would never bow to a corporation.
saying,
What's up, that PlayStation
like,
gamer?
let's face it, what he's trying to imply is that they
Oh, please tell me what you think he implied because you never talked to Jim Ryan. Oh, please tell me. Oh, please tell me what he's about to imply. Please tell me.
will never abandon Japan. People aren't really buying PlayStation 5s in that region. From what I've heard and from what I've looked at, for some reason, Japan loves the idea of gaming on the go. They spend
Congratulations. Hold up. I got this for a reason. Hold up. I got this for a reason. I got to learn how to connect it, but I got this for a reason. Let me turn it up. Let me turn it up. Let me turn. I got this for a reason. Look, Dreamcast guy, is not that hard, okay? For a person like myself who's actually into like the gaming, like handheld a little bit, but again, with this, I'd rather play this on the TV. If I'm on a go, I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Vanguard, which I have in my case, or Mario Kart. I could use this to play all that on the go if I want to. I'm 90% of the time I'm playing this on the TV, but I also got a phone that I could play games off of, like Steam and off of AMD streaming service on here, and I have emulators on here. I got Pokemon emulators and all that stuff on here. So I have options to play on the go because guess what? I'm working and I got free time sometimes. I'm in the DMV or I'm going to get like a drug test or anywhere. I could take that to go. And plus, people is usually taking public transportation because driving in Japan is kind of ridiculous. So you have to understand that a lot of people is going to play on the go, and that's where Microsoft is trying to do with their streaming services. With PlayStation, you have to have a PlayStation. With Sony, you have to have a PlayStation in order to do that. With Microsoft, is download the app. You could download the app on PlayStation, but I'm only streaming it on PC. I can't stream it on my phone because I need a PlayStation, and I can't do that. So they have a Vita 2 is called the Steam. Fair enough. Switch, aka only Nintendo game. That yeah. Look, I want Nintendo to put their games on PC because I would love that. But you know, got another way to do it, but what can you do? But yeah, people is going over, and if Sony start to realize that and start to adapt to what's changing, I think they still be could be relevant in the future, but they're not doing it now. And that sucks because I don't want Sony to go away. That's competition that's leaving, and competition always make other people become good. It's just that competition got to adapt to it.
Spend a lot of time on trains and stuff. They're
Oh snaps! Hold on. Oh, was that all? Okay.
very focused on the salaryman life. So the Nintendo Switch has completely taken over Japan, which I find fascinating. If you actually look at
I'm sorry. How do you find that fascinating? Because I'm trying to tell you this right now. No shit. Because it's a home console that is a portable, aka hybrid. You know what a hybrid is? It's two things that becomes one. So how can you find that fascinating? That's because not only that, it's from Japan. They're not really censoring a lot of things. They letting everybody make a game for it. They're 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 a portable, and they can play it on the TV if they want to. Look at the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is selling amazing over in Japan as well, because guess what? It's a portable PC that they could put on the TV to play fighting games if they bring a controller or a fight pad. I got a fight pad right there that could work with my Nintendo Switch and my PC. So I have options.
things like Splatoon 3 sales numbers, or obviously the Zelda sales numbers in Japan.
Wait, how much does Splatoon 3 sold? Fuck. That's more than 1 million Ghost of Tsushima units. I'm just saying.
They are absolutely surreal, but it's interesting to hear him specifically basically promising that they're not going to abandon a market. It seems like things that should go unsaid, but he decided to verbalize it. Now, he's really doubling down on the fact that they are still focusing on specific titles that they want to sell worldwide, but they hope will find an audience specifically in Japan, like Rise of the Ronin. It's that big new open world samurai game by Koei Tecmo. He says here, we think it'll be extremely strong and we'll give it marketing power and distribution network to publish it. This combination technique is the secret to making the game a hit.
You know what? Okay, it's an open world. Honestly, I want to be like this, and I'm going to say I'm actually evolving in this situation with games. In this situation, I'm starting to like body cam games. I'm starting to like body cam games like 100%. I'm dead serious. Body cam games is actually the way to go. Like body cam horror is a thing, and that one shooter is a body cam. Honestly, I want those games to be on other platforms like PlayStation and Xbox, but if they can't run it, I feel sorry, because those body cam games is starting to be like the vibe. Like on the real note, body cam games. Let me see if I can find it on Steam, because the game is starting to be like, I'm like adapting to the body cam games like all day. Let's see. Let's go to store. Body cam game. What was it? What was it? Because those games are starting to be like elite, in my opinion. Those body cam games is actually really, really starting to become really good.
Now, I'll be honest, of this
Sorry, everybody.
entire interview, this to me is actually the most fascinating tidbit and nobody is really discussing it. He is essentially acknowledging something that I have yet.
Sony basically owned the console market. Xbox is irrelevant, and Nintendo is just such damn. Hold on, did I just see Bendy in your library? Yeah, I bought it like a long time ago, and I like horror games. I do. I like that. Like, okay, so here's the thing. My favorite games is gonna be, of course, simulators. I like I like Paladins, so certain games like that. Um, Horror games. I love horror games. I tried Bendy. Not my favorite. And I like what you call it, smucks and like roguelike games. Those are the games that I like. So you got your third person action adventure games with stealth elements. I do not like those games because it's more story based than gameplay based, in my opinion. But everybody got each their own. And I also like playing trading card games. I just played Yu-Gi-Oh earlier, so and I get my butt kicked. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, I like horror games. I'm starting to like body cam games. Um Horror games, body cam games, simulation, games like Paladins. I need to play Paladins. I haven't played that in a moment because I've been working. And now I'm planning to start making my own game because I'm sick and tired of these AAA games coming out broken. So I thought I could put my foot in the indie development thing. I got time to start doing that. So I'm thinking like if I take like 3 to 4 hours out of my life to make a game, I think I could do a pretty good job. But I need to make my own sound, my own atmosphere, and I need to like do all of that. So stuff I have to do. I recently played sequel Dark Revival, and I would say it's better than the first one. But in my opinion, I think you only going to like it if you like the first. Okay, I'll check that out. Let me go ahead and copy that. Okay, I'll check it out.
Guessed in previous videos, which is that
If how do you keep on going off? Am I at low battery? I shouldn't be at low battery. It should tell me.
I think that Sony is doing a deal where they're approaching people and saying, okay, if you make a game exclusively on PlayStation and it looks good, obviously it's a high budget AAA game, we will market it. We will do everything. We will put it in PlayStation showcases. We'll put it on all the billboards. We'll put it in every commercial.
Why you just say marketing? That you could have literally took like a minute off. Marketing. If you make a game for us, we will market it. It is stable, but I'm going to say this. And I think a lot of people need to understand this. I'm getting sick and tired of games coming broken, and oh, we're going to patch it later. I don't like that. That's why I want to make a game to put on Steam and on other platforms. I don't want a game to be broken. I want people to play the game without me putting out a patch later on in the like saying, "Oh, it's broken. Oh, I'm sorry." Like no. I'd rather just go ahead, take my time, release a game that is not broken. Make sure everybody play. Like, yeah, they're going to market it because they're going to put the money in it. Of course they got great marketing because they're putting the money in it. My thing is, you release a game. Now what? It's stable now? What? Did that give you a pass for releasing the game all buggy? That's unacceptable. Like, I know a person that's playing like Forspoken. That game was buggy. On the PlayStation. Why should people on the PlayStation should settle for that type of game and just say, "Oh, we just wait for a patch"? No, that's unacceptable. The game should be released with less bugs as possible. Like I could say, a couple bugs, like let's say 3 or 4 bugs, 5 bugs is kind of pushing it, somewhat or not. But if you get in a game that's like 30 frames a second, 20 frames a second, 24 frames a second, and dropping down to 720p, that's unacceptable. I feel like when you spend your money on your console and everything, I expect people. It's like this. Why even make the game $70 in the first place if you need more money to develop the game to make it playable? $60 wasn't enough. $60, $60 games was just ugly. Make the game $70 to so they can have enough money to hire people to fix the game and make sure it's less bugs. Where is it? Redfall, horrible, $70 for 30 frames a second. Oh, we're gonna put the 60 frames a second out there later. Why? Why? Even though I could play at 60 frames on my PC, why am I playing that at 60 frames? How come I'm not playing it higher? How come the people on the Xbox platform playing the game at 30 frames a second? Oh, we patched it in later. And then you get the game, now it's buggy. Why? Why is this what you call it? Why is this acceptable? Fair enough. For what I understand, it was the lack of oversight for Naughty Dog and lack of quality for Iron Gate. You know what? I want to say this. I'll put the blame on Sony. They're the one that hired Iron Gates. You got to start from the top. It was Sony. Sony is the one that say, "Oh, we're going to go ahead and hire Iron Gates." Because why is Iron Gates in there in the first place? They should say, "You know what? We got Nexus. Let's go ahead and hire more people so they could work on The Last of Us for the PC port." So we could get this game, because this is one of our best games that we ever have, so people could play it. But no. And then Naughty Dog, as soon as they saw Iron Gates, they should have told Sony, "Hey, we don't want Iron Gates. What about Nexus?" They could have hired people. The Last of Us Part 1 worked perfectly on PlayStation 5. Yeah, it worked perfectly on PlayStation 5 because PlayStation had no choice but to make it work on PlayStation 5. Because if it was buggy like The Last of Us on PC, would y'all play it? I'm not. It's like even with PC ports are getting ugly, and what's the point of even paying $60 on a PC port if it's not going to be functional? Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, The Last of Us, Redfall, all those games. What's the point? I'm getting sick and tired of this. That's why I'm starting to lean more over to indie indie developers than triple A's, because guess what? At least with indie developers, they put in their they put in their work where their mouth is. And I guess as me, I'm getting sick and tired of these gamers. These developers these companies who releasing games, because what Nexus is the one working on Ratchet and Clank part or Ghost Port is by. Even though they're working on it, PlayStation is a billion-dollar company. They could have hired more people to work on other ports, because after they hired Iron Gates and Naughty Dog didn't say nothing about it, I can't trust Sony. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Returnal was probably the last Sony product I ever gonna buy from. Like, I don't know if I could give money to Sony after that horrendous patches. To me is not good enough for me to give them more money. Like, I'm putting my foot down. I'm sorry. Forget the patches. Like, if you're not going to release a complete game, there's no point of me giving you money.
Well, that's what this sounds like. It sounds like Koei Tecmo, who has worked with PlayStation in the past, obviously, and even companies like Square Enix to make PlayStation exclusives. It sounds like they're saying, we're using our extremely strong marketing power and distribution to make it a hit. I have thought that they're doing this already. I think that PlayStation has this interesting methodology where they are way in first when it comes to consoles, and I think they realize, okay, if we say here's the next big game and it's actually a good one, obviously they can make it sell. They can make you those billions of dollars of profit, which again is going to sell more consoles. So it's win-win.
The thing about it is, you're looking at you're looking at it through a Western viewpoint. Okay, you're looking at it through a Western viewpoint because Brazil, the PlayStation 5 is like close to $1,000. You could build a PC and get more stuff done on the PC than you would do with the PlayStation 5. The Philippines, you only make $300 to $500 a month. Why would they buy a PlayStation 5 if they only making $300 to $500 a month? You got to think about the people who's trying to live life and everything. Like a lot of Filipino people don't own TVs, so there's no point of even owning a PlayStation 5. The Switch is more understandable over there because it's a portable. It's a portable thing. Yeah, he is weird. I'm just saying, because here's the thing. He's only thinking it as a Western side of view instead of thinking about a global type of view. Because you could build a PC for less than $100, and you could get yourself a monitor for, like, if you could get yourself a used monitor for like about $20. That right there with the PC, you could have yourself a PC setup for like $150. Monitor, keyboard, a not a decent graphics card. I would say a old graphics card, and you could still play League of Legends. You could still play Valorant. If you are skilled enough, you could also take a game like The Last of Us and downgrade it to a point where they could play the game and still get the story. It's just the graphics is going to be horrendous, but they can still play the game. It's still an option for that, because you got people out there that will take a brand new game and try to bump it all the way down to see if it's playable on older hardware. And yes, that is a community. It's surprising. So you're here and saying they're going to sell a whole bunch of PlayStations, which I don't have any evidence for that. We just don't know. It's just the PC. It just comes out cheaper when you think about it like that. Want to video chat while you streaming just by. I have to download Discord on my PC, so I gotta redo all that. So I can't do it at the moment, but I had to download Discord. I don't have it on my PC, so I can't even do it right now. But I do apologize. I'll do it next time. But yeah, my PC just don't have Discord at the moment. I had to delete everything, re-download everything because problems on my PC. So you're sitting here thinking that that they're gonna sell, but this is where a lot of people are not gonna look at PlayStation, because they can't they can't play the game because they don't have a PlayStation, because PlayStation costs like thousands of dollars everywhere else. And even if PlayStation costs like $500 in the whole world, that's probably their whole income for the month, maybe more than their whole income for a month. So if they try to save for a PlayStation, the next PlayStation is going to be out, and they have to save for that, and then the next PlayStation will be out, and all that stuff. So yeah, it's dumb. I'll watch Go Rux. I didn't see it yet. I'm sorry, I went on a rant, but yeah, I just try to think of the world like that.
Win. Man, across the board though, I am just interested in stuff like this right here. PlayStation Game Studio sales numbers in Japan are not interesting if a game is a hit in so this is a funny one. Although PlayStation Studios AAA titles have sold 10 to 20 million units worldwide, sales in Japan often remain relatively small. Please tell us your frank thoughts about software sales in Japan. And he basically says, please don't ask me this. He literally says this: every market, not just Japan, has its own characteristics. That's why there's a difference between the market when the same title can sell. That doesn't matter. It wouldn't be interesting if the same title was a hit in every region. All right, look at this.
It's easy, Dreamcast guy. PlayStation been censoring games, except for their first party titles. You could just release it on PC. I mean, your game on PC, and not censor it. And if parents got a problem with it, there's a ESRB on there, and they could just go ahead and be a parent and watch what their kids buying on Steam instead of having the company telling them what to do. Simple.
This is a major, major cope. Because honestly, if you're selling a game, you want it to be popular in every country. Like, I'm a YouTuber.
No, if you're selling your game, you don't want nobody to mess up your artwork. You got people who's in movies. Like, here's the thing, okay? And this is what I hate about about Hollywood. Hollywood is telling directors. They telling directors on how to make their movies. How to make their movies so it could be inclusive. And there's people who direct and people who do like writers and stuff. They don't want people to tell them how to make a movie. So what you're saying is actually disrespectful to the developers who make the games, because they want to be free to how they supposed to make their games. Nobody don't want to be told how to create their games. They want the freedom to do. And since Sony's saying you gotta censor it, the developers saying, if you're going to have me censoring my game, I'm just going to go ahead and put it on PC, because there's no point of me to put my product on your platform if I have to censor it. Why you think in the 90s you had Sega who was competing against Nintendo? Because Sega didn't censor them. Mortal Kombat was censored on Nintendo than Sega. You can have blood on Sega, but you can't have blood on Nintendo. Nobody don't want censorship, because that's actually disrespectful to the artist or the developer who's trying to release their game on a platform. And I'm looking at this as a game developer, because I'm planning to develop my own game now. It's a decision I made today. I want to make my game playable without any censorship. If I had to put my game on Sony and they say, oh, you got censorship stuff, you don't tell me what to do. I'm just going to sell it on Steam. Same thing with Microsoft. Oh, you got censorship stuff. You don't tell me what to do. I'm just going to sell it on Steam. Because guess what? They're not censoring me. And if they censor me, I just make a website and sell it on there. I get all the funds. Just saying. There's other ways to sell the game. I'm so sorry. I need to go back.
I want to get views from every country, but I think it'd be cool if I was big in Japan and Germany and America and Australia and stuff like that. So him trying to act like, oh, I'm not worried about that. As long as the game sells, I'm happy. The business is never boring and exciting, because each region...
Yeah, you don't want to say that, because you want the game to sell, because that's what makes you money. If it's not big... I mean, if you're going to censor games and people are just going to go somewhere else to play their games on a different platform, that's just how it is. Because even though companies want to make money, you know, if they're censored, that's more of an insult to them than anything else.
Where games sell has its own characteristics. All right, come on, buddy, come on. That, you know, you wish you had higher sales in Japan, but you'll take what you can get. Okay, so a lot of this...
Why do I want to take what I get? I want to get as much money as possible. This is a capitalist world. Can I make as much money as possible without being... No, Dreamcast guy, no. The world is not fair. Okay? The world is not fair. We're going to make as much money as possible.
early stuff here is very much PR speak, so I'm going to skip that and look at one final thing. But he essentially tries to again talk about how Japan is making a lot of the highest selling games on PlayStation. He mentioned specifically Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, Tekken, just to name a few. These are countless masterpieces developed by Japanese developers and released by publishers.
Why do you think Monster Hunter was more popular on the Switch? I'm not Switch, but on the 3DS, it was popular. Oh shit! Oh shit! Okay. Follow me on this. Okay, follow me on this. Think about it. You know how these console fanboys keep on saying, "Oh, people pirate it on console, but they don't. On PC, but they don't pirate on console." I just remember there is a ROM hack where you could get all Nintendo games on all the Nintendo 3DS games on their 3DS. Talking about hacking. Ooh, Reforce Gaming. I might have to go ahead and do a video on that because that's gonna be fun. That is gonna be fun.
It is interesting to think about how Japan is this pocket of incredibly high quality talent and dedication and franchise creation, and it just keeps going and going and going. So I think it's cool that, I mean, Jim Ryan still recognizes, respects, and is just letting that industry sort of.
Okay, so here's the thing. Make sure they have circle as confirmed and cross as in cancel. Make sure you give no censorship to them. Make sure it's $500 USD instead of $550. No, because they want to make money. And the reason why it's $500 here in America is because guess what? Competition. Yeah, Xbox is $500. If they raise it up to $550, everybody going to Xbox. He knows what's going on, and plus, the cameras became expensive. I already knew Sony was going to raise the price on everything that they own. Cameras are more expensive. TVs are more expensive. You know, their PlayStation is more expensive. They raised the price on games. So yeah, PlayStation was going to be more expensive anyways. It's just they couldn't raise it here in America because there's another option. And another option. And another option. Yeah.
Flare up because they're making that money big time for PlayStation. But here, this is the final thing. It's a little short tidbit, but he actually just hints a bit about the quality of Spider-Man 2. PlayStation Studios plans to release Spider-Man 2 in 2023. Please tell us your thoughts on this work. I'm sure that
third-person action adventure game with stealth elements. Nothing different.
Spider-Man 2 will be a very exciting launch because Marvel's Spider-Man released on PlayStation 4 and it's a touchstone. The title was a huge success on the PlayStation 4 and was enjoyed by millions of users. I think still, technically, I think Spider-Man on PlayStation 4, I think it sold like 30 million copies.
Dude, you got a computer. Oh my gosh. How many? You have a PC and you could have done the research. Jeez. GameSpot. How many copies has Spider-Man PlayStation 4 sold? It say over 33. We're just gonna go over 33.
I think Spider-Man on PlayStation 4, I think it sold like 30 million copies. I think it's technically one of the most successful PlayStation games ever by a huge metric. But it says this, the sequel.
But even with Spider-Man 3, it's still haven't went to like all of the users because, like I said, when people own PlayStations, if that's the case, Spider-Man should have been sold 100 million units on the PlayStation 4, but a lot of people didn't buy Spider-Man 4 because it didn't reach that much. A lot of people don't like Spider-Man, so they went with somewhere else. A lot of people that bought it probably bought it for a DVD player. We don't know. Is this we only going by cell numbers?
Sequel to Spider-Man 2 is being developed exclusively for the PlayStation 5, so the developers will have to make no compromises. Okay, so I think that pretty much confirms we're going to get...
So you're telling me that developers don't want to make the game for PC? Why not? Yeah, I got PC parts. But you know what? I don't care because I'm not going to buy Spider-Man. It's after playing Spider-Man on PC, the Spider-Man from PlayStation 4, the remaster, it was bored and mediocre. I'm not playing Spider-Man. I haven't got Miles Morales and I'm not getting Spider-Man 2 because it was too bland to me.
4K modes and 60 FPS. We asked them to focus...
Okay. Clear note. And I really want to ask PlayStation players this. How come y'all not asking for 120 frames a second on PlayStation 5 games? Not games that came over from the PlayStation 4 and could be played on the PlayStation 5 with an update. I'm talking about straight up. It claimed it could does it. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X claimed that in the S claims that these systems could run at 120 frames a second, but yet any brand new title that is made for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X and S, we're still seeing only 60. Why are we not looking at higher than 60? How come we're not seeing 120 frames? How come we're not seeing that? I'm starting to get sick and tired of these companies keep on lying to us. Yes, it could play older titles at 120 frames a second. I want to see a PlayStation 5 only game and the Xbox Series X and S only game to run these games at 120 frames a second. So far we saw 60, and right now that's not enough, because guess what, I could run these newer games at more than 120 frames a second. That's my left side, right. Oh jeez, sorry.
On maximizing the functions of the PlayStation 5, creating the best works. As a result, we've received feedback from game fans that it looks like it'll be enjoyable with really beautiful visuals and a wonderful experience. So he's trying to be vague, but I do wonder, the thing I have talked the most about that I am the most curious about is there have been rumors that there's going to be some sort of multiplayer in Spider-Man 2. This kind of seems to allude to that, of like, oh yeah, we're working on a big, fun, interactive experience.
Question is, how come how come close to the release date they actually talking about it? I'm skeptical about it. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not saying it's true or not, but I'm skeptical about it. This is kind of like, I don't believe it until I see it. I'm skeptical about that, because it's kind of late. It's coming close to the release date. I don't have a clue. I'm probably have to watch the release thing tomorrow, but I don't know.
That maximizes the power of the PlayStation. Does that mean multiplayer? Because I would lose my freaking mind if I could play a little bit of Spider-Man with other webheads.
Hey, what about The Last of Us getting multiplayer? Ooh, yeah. I just don't believe that they're gonna do multiplayer. I'm skeptical about it. It's kind of hard to believe because they fell at The Last of Us having multiplayer, and it's coming close to the release date. Yeah, because if the dude said, if Candyman said it was releasing on September, it's already close to June. So June, July, August, September, 4 months with multiplayer. and it's supposed to be an open world, so you got problems with the open world, and then you gotta concentrate on 2 levels. That's why I think that Halo co-op thing was going to be a problem, because you got open world and you got multiplayer, and then you got 4 months in. If they announced that like kind of earlier in the year, I could say probably like a year earlier announced. Probably I could say that's plausible, but right now I want to give the benefit of the doubt. And plus, I don't believe rumors like that, anyways, until it really happened.
Overall, I think this interview is very insightful. Lots of PR speak, of course, but I do think it's actually a pretty good little interview. Okay, my DMs are blowing up on Twitter, so something must be happening. But I love you guys very much.
19 notifications, 2 messages. Your DM. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, that's it with Dreamcast guy. All right, that's it. It is about to be 2 o'clock. I do apologize for everything, but yeah, I want to have to download this